This week on Happy Hour, we shake things up with our top 10 favorite movies. Come and join us. Welcome back to Happy Hour, our podcast for young adults here at the Cathedral of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus. I'm Rick.
And I'm Holly.
And we're bringing you our top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Let's go.
I'm excited about this.
I'm excited.
This is different.
It's a little, it is shaking it up a bit.
Yeah.
Like you said.
I like it though, because I have opinions. I don't know if you know this about me, Holly. I have opinions.
Rick's Opinions.
Rick's Opinions. Oh, okay. Now that might be another
Hot
podcast.
Yeah.
Rick's Hot Takes.
Rick's Hot Takes.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that. But what you do want is to know that I have 5 movies. Holly has 5 movies, and together that's our top 10. Now, as we discuss what our top 10 movies are, a lot of movies have been made, right?
Of course.
Some fun, some science fiction, religious, all different kinds. And so it's difficult to kind of narrow it down. So I'm not going to say this will always be my top 5.
Right.
But I can guarantee you this. My top 1 will always be my top 1. I don't ever foresee a movie ever overtaking my top movie of all time. There's no way.
Really?
I'm serious. There's absolutely no way.
That's not going to be shaken? Are you sure?
Ever. There is no movie that's ever going to be made that's better than Sharknado.
Oh.
Yes. The best movie ever created.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. Just kidding. If you're still listening, Sharknado is on the bottom 5, I believe, of worst movies of all time. It's
least
definitely
favorites.
Yeah, least favorites. Top
least.
Bottom 10. I don't even know what you would call that list, but that's what it would be on. That, and I have a few others that including the most recent Venom movie, I would definitely put down in my lower realm of movies. I can't believe I paid money to go see that movie. But I'm an avid movie goer. I like movies. I love going to the movie theater. That's one of my favorite things to do, and my family's favorite things to do. Oh. And we also just love sitting at home and just experiencing movies together. That's like, if we're going to do something that is not outside or whatever, that's it. That's what we're going to do. Now, how do you sit with movies? Like, is it a big thing for you? Is it just something, well, if I have time, I'm going to see it? Or do you go out of your way sometimes to do a movie? Because some people are movie people, some people are not.
Right.
Right.
Of course. It's, for me, when I was younger, I tended to go to movie theaters more often. Nowadays, with Netflix and Amazon Prime, I tend to just watch them at home.
Why?
I guess the comfort, and you don't have to leave, don't have to pay extra money. You don't have to, you can just get up, go to the microwave, make your own popcorn. It's
convenient.
It is very convenient.
It's cheaper.
Yes. But there is something to be said about like going out and like having fun with your friends. A little plug here. I have a drive-in movie event for our philanthropy, for my sorority. Ooh. So if you're in Knoxville, this event will be taking place next week on Tuesday, October 26th.
Is the movie announced, or is it come and find out?
It's Psycho.
Whoa, that's like
Halloween.
that's like a 1970s movie, I think, right? Yeah, something like that.
It's the Maryville Parkway Drive-In Theater. So if you're interested in raising money for philanthropy and you want to watch a movie with your friends, then come on down.
There you go. And you don't even have to stay for the movie. You just go.
Yeah, you can donate.
That's right.
That's totally okay.
Absolutely. If that's not your jam, then just donate to something good. That's great. Yeah. Movie theater. So some of my favorite experiences of all time have been at drive-in movies. Okay. Now, how many drive-in movies have you been to, Holly?
I've actually never. That's why I created that event, because I was like, I've never been to one. So I'm going to make an event, and we're going to go.
It's going to be your first experience.
Yes.
Wow. You are so lucky.
What am I in for?
Well, back in the day, when I was a young lad, we would always go to the drive-in movie theater. And some of the best things are, number 1, you get 2 movies.
Ooh, double feature.
It's a double feature. Also, another benefit is that it doesn't start till dark. Because it can't, right? So, all right, it's going to be a late night, right? You get 2 movies to go. I loved the concession stand. Now, if we have people that are a little bit older listening, you're going to appreciate this a lot. There was always a playground at the front. Like, kids could just be at the front and kind of play, and the cars were all parked, and you had the speaker that you had to put inside your car and all that stuff. And if you go to the concession stand, of course, you get, your drinks and stuff. because that's what you do legally. You don't bring in your own food and drinks, right? Because nobody ever does that. But also you could buy things like mosquito repellent. Now,
interesting.
Yeah. Now, it might not be the mosquito repellent that you're thinking of. It's not the spray-on.
I was thinking spray, like
Yeah.
the off-brand.
I'm sure you could buy that, but my favorite thing was they had this green ring, and I'm probably not going to describe it very well, but it's like a green, it was green, it was in the shape of a ring, and you light the end of it, and it slowly burns. It's like a citronella candle, kind of.
Okay.
Right? But it's just like it almost looks like a snake. You ever light one of those little snakes where you light it on fire and it just kind of like comes out? It's like 4th of July stuff, and it makes a little snake. It just keeps coming. Well, it's kind of, it's shaped kind of like that, and you light one end and it slowly burns the whole night and keeps mosquitoes away. I miss those.
Oh, we need more of those.
We do need
I
more of
get bitten
those.
like crazy.
Like, even if I just see one, it would bring me back to drive-in theaters. And it'd be awesome. I love the drive-in so much. And I remember the moment they tore the one down that we always used to go to, and it was so sad. But I also do remember the last movie I saw at that drive-in. So we would always go. It was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It now became Studio 28 theaters. But there was a drive-in theater there. And the last movie, and we got in for free. The movie was free. Now, this is going to really date me, but it's okay. It was a double feature. Okay. The first movie was He-Man, Masters of the Universe, which was a live action with Dolph Lundgren playing He-Man. Who is Dolph Lundgren? Well, if you've ever seen Rocky IV, he's the Russian.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, or if you've seen like more recent movies like The Expendables, the most recent Expendables movies or something, he's in there too. But so he played He-Man. It was an awful movie, terrible movie. But then the second movie was Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Oh. Yeah. Pretty crazy, huh? That was a terrible movie too. But I always remember
free.
that. It was free.
It was an experience.
Exactly. And we got great food and all that fun stuff. But we transitioned, of course, to in theaters. And in Michigan, when you go to a movie theater, it's like there are rules.
Oh.
Okay. It's none of this stuff that I've been seeing the last few years. You go to a movie theater, listen, we paid money. We're going to watch the movie. I don't want to hear your conversations. I'm one of those that, like, if you're kicking my seat and you've got conversations and your phone is on, that kind of stuff irritates me because I paid money to come see a movie. I can experience all of that everywhere else. Mm-hmm. Like, I paid good money to come see a movie, right? Now, other people, I get it. They like the social aspects, and that's fine. But one thing that bothers me is the kicking of the seat.
Ooh, that could be irritating when you're trying to watch a movie.
Yep. Does that not bother other people?
Oh, it would bother me.
Something kicking your seat, right? I don't know. I guess that's one of my pet peeves. I should do a top 10 movie theater pet peeves.
Or yeah.
Because I guarantee you I have at least 10. But that's my cross to bear, and I'll bear it. But we're talking about our top movies. How about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah? We're going to dive in. I have some honorable mentions as well, because, again, I've seen a lot of movies. And what you're going to find is not many current movies make my top. Mm-hmm. I think quality has gone downhill over quantity now.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah. It's rough to find not a good movie. I find a lot of good movies. By no means am I a critic, like some kind of masterful critic, but I do know a good movie when I see one, right? Mm-hmm. And nowadays it seems to be tougher and tougher. So we're going to break out and maybe there's going to be some movies on here you haven't heard of and maybe you haven't seen. So you can trust us, I think. If you want a movie to watch, we're going to give you them.
We have suggestions.
We do. Holly, why don't we start with one of yours? One of your top 5 movies that you really love. Give us one.
All right. Well, one of them that I've mentioned previously, I think before, is The Greatest Showman.
Oh, yes.
And I've watched that probably over 12, maybe 15 times.
Wow.
I was obsessed when it came out. The soundtrack is fantastic. And I have a special place in my heart for like the circus and dancing. So when I was younger, my parents used to take me for my birthday when I was really little to the circus. I was obsessed with just like, wow, like the big tent, the elephants, the cool trapeze artist, and like the contortionist. I was just, I just loved it so much. So that sort of brings me back to those moments. And like, it just makes, I guess it's nostalgic for me personally.
So I don't ever remember going to the circus as a kid.
Really?
Is that bad?
don't think so. They travel a lot. So.
They do. And I feel like they were always around, but I don't ever remember going. I don't know if I've ever been to the circus.
Oh, really? There aren't, I think a lot of them have shut down now with like the animal.
Sure, yeah.
Like the activists and stuff, which is understandable if, you know.
If they're being mistreated.
Yes, of course. But like also with like clowns and stuff, like I feel like, okay, this is a hot take. Holly's hot take. Clowns have gotten way more creepier because I, like, oddly enough, had like an obsession with clowns, but not in the way, when I say that, people are going to be a little concerned for me. But clowns were like a good thing.
Yes.
Almost when I was growing up. They're like, oh, they're happy. They're here to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Now they're like creepy. It's like the movie It.
Yes.
Horror movies.
Yep.
Based on clowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the perspective on that has changed.
I agree.
A bit.
Well, I mean, look at Ronald McDonald, right?
Yeah, he's
you
a
don't
clown.
exactly, and he's the face. I don't know if he is anymore, but he's face of McDonald's.
Right.
There's a reason. I mean, it was supposed to bring joy and happiness, but that might have all shifted in the movie Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a little bit older
point.
of a movie, but that the clown that the boy had, that that might have shifted right around there. I don't know. That was my
Good theory.
Yeah, I like that hot take though. All right, so Greatest Showman, huh? I love that. We're gonna put that as our number 10 movie for today. How's that sound?
That works.
That's great.
I like
All right. Well, I'm gonna introduce one, and I like a lot of different genres, so you probably see that. But the ones that really hit me are usually like the dramas and stuff like that. It's pretty typical.
Fair enough.
So on my number 5, I have to go with Inception.
Okay. I have never actually watched that before.
Ooh.
I have never watched it.
Oh my goodness. I love it. That's so great that you haven't seen it. So really that movie, when I first saw it, and anybody that sees it for the first time is like, wait, what? Like, what? Because you're trying to wrap your head around what you're seeing. And I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything like that. And we'll try not to do that for any of these movies. But if you haven't seen Inception, it's one of the movies honestly, you got to see it at least 2-3 times.
Okay.
Because there are going to be things you miss. It's a little bit longer of a movie, but it's so in depth and it really challenges your perception of reality, which is always great. I like being taken on a journey. I too have probably watched that movie anywhere from 10 to 12 times. Okay. So Inception, most people probably have seen it, I think, but maybe not anymore. I don't know. If you haven't, that's one when you have time and you really want your brain to hurt. Oh, you got to watch that movie. You got to see it.
Do you get new insights every time you watch it?
I see. It feels like I do. And what's great is I have my markers now for like if somebody's seen it for the first time, I'll be like, sit back, get ready, watch this. Those kind of movies where like I know every piece that's coming, but there's still some takeaways that I have from it. So it's on my top 5 right now. Again, these shift every once in a while, but my number 1 will never shift. So, and we're inching our way towards that. So, number 9 is Inception. What have you got for our number 8 movie, Holly?
For our number 8 movie, I have A Quiet Place. So it's 1 and 2.
The first one.
1 and 2.
Okay.
I have to say, I think I liked 1 better, personally.
Same.
But yeah, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. So they're married in real life and then they're acting together. I just love that aspect of it. And obviously I am a deaf ed major. So obviously I love when I see sign language being used. And they also used one of the children actors in that movie. I forget her name. She is actually deaf. So they actually brought her in. And I think that's like really appropriate too. And just like, it just sort of highlights like deaf culture and like, just like, sort of brings to light that, and I sort of like that idea as well.
That's incredible. Now that you say that, that makes so much sense that you would love those movies, and they do a great gosh, John Krasinski. Oh, gosh, mad fantastic. Props to Jim Halpert.
Yes, I can never think otherwise. He's always Jim Halpert.
I mean, I see him in the Jack Ryan series, which is really good, but I can't help but see Jim Halpert every single time, right?
I think he's trying to he's
trying
to tough in the Jack Ryan and even in The Quiet Place.
Yeah,
so I think he's trying to do a little role
for
I guess,
sure.
in like his perception. He
Yeah.
wants to be more tough, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's in another military movie, and the name escapes me. It's like 13 Hours. No, it's not that. I don't know. There's another one that was very tough. Yeah, and going away from that. Great, good call. Yeah. So yeah. Technically, those are two separate movies, but we're going to just include it in our.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's
Quiet
okay.
Place 1 and then and 2.
Yes, I like it. All right, so that's our number 8, right?
Yes.
Moving on to number 7. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now, again, there's so many I could have put in here, but the first, and this is 2008, so it's a little bit more recent, but not quite. Iron Man.
Oh yeah, you did say you like Iron Man.
I really like Iron Man a lot, and I really like Robert Downey Jr., RDJ, and his redemption story, not just in the movies, but like his real life redemption story, and to see how low he was, and to see him come back and be really the king of the box office. I don't know if there's ever been an actor that has made more money now, been more successful in terms of like money making. And I mean, the guy's a great actor, but I love the Iron Man movie because of, from beginning to end, you see this transformation of a human being.
Yes,
right?
Character development.
Yes.
Skyrockets.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, of course, I like all the bells and whistles that come along with it too, right? Action, adventure, intrigue.
Cool technology.
Yeah, and you know me, so
Rick loves technology.
I do. It's true, and I saw that in the theater, and just right away loved it. And little known fact maybe about me, Iron Man's my favorite comic book character of all time. When I was growing up, that was the comic that I was reading, was Iron Man. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. It just really spoke to me for some odd reason. So number 7 on our list is Iron Man.
Wonderful.
All right. Why don't you round out the bottom 5 of our top 10, if that makes sense.
5 of the top 10. Yes.
That makes sense? Okay. What is our number 6 movie, Holly?
And I think I've also referenced this before, but the movie Wonder. I just like those inspirational, heartwarming movies. And it just illuminates like the childlike simplicity of Augie.
Yes.
And how he just so much desires for his heart to be seen over what he like physically looks like.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes me cry almost every time.
Yeah.
And the family dynamic and how they are like supportive, but they also have their usual family, difficulties and challenges.
Yeah.
And how that works and how, and he has a little friend that he makes. Oh, it's fantastic. If you've not watched it, and
you gotta watch it.
Be ready with a box of tissues. And yeah,
it's true.
That's all I will say.
It's true. Great movie. I've shown it to a group before. Such a great lesson to learn. Really, and it restores your faith in humanity, to be quite honest. Not at first, but that journey of that. Oh, and it's a true story, right? Based on a true story? Is it? Yeah.
It is.
Right. Yeah. Incredible. Wow. That's a good one to end the bottom of our top 10.
Yes.
At number 6. All right. Moving on to, I guess, number 5, our number 5 movie. Ready? I'm
ready.
Schindler's List. It's a movie about the Holocaust.
I have not watched this yet.
Okay, yeah. So Schindler was a man who was actually helping to save people, spent the fortune really saving people from being put to death in the Holocaust. And this one is, as well is a very long movie, extremely long. I do own the director's cut as well, so it's even longer. But this is Liam Neeson's finest performance, period. And I love Liam Neeson. The Taken movies.
I was going to say Taken.
Of course, right? Like, or even I just love his voice. So when he does things like Chronicles of Narnia, he's Aslan, the voice. His voice is great. But far and away, this is his best performance that he will ever do. I really feel that. And I think I've seen just about everything with Liam Neeson, even way back into Darkman. And that's a reference that you're going to have to look up. I mean, it's okay. You'd have to look it up in order to know what that is. But really, Schindler's List is one of those that is so powerful. It is so poignant. And again, also based on a true story. It's one it's a roller coaster, and you just can't believe some of the atrocities that happened. You hear about it, you kind of read about it, but when it's visual and you see it, it really brings to life what a great work had been done to save so many people. So if you haven't seen it, Schindler's List absolutely should be on the top of your list to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
That really makes me want to see it now. I will have to go watch that this weekend.
It is tremendous. And that is our number 5 movie. What have you got as a number 4 movie?
For number 4, I have the Dead Poets Society.
Oh, I
which
love
is really
it.
good.
Oh,
Another
my
more
goodness.
inspirational. I just love those inspirational teacher movies because it
Yeah.
applies to me, right? But it's very inspirational regardless. A little background on the story. Mr. Keating is a teacher who's a little quirky and creative and comes into a school that's like an elite boarding school, or like all male boarding school, and he sort of comes in there, and a lot of the administration doesn't like him because he's so like creative and he's mixing everything up. And he sort of takes under his wing one of the students named Neil, and he's also a little bit more creative, and Keating sees like a lot of potential in him as well. And Neil ends up, developing a club called the Dead Poets Society, but I won't say much more than that because it's such a good movie, but it's very inspirational, and it sort of twists like the norms of what was going on at that school. And I think that it was just fantastic. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Oh, that scene right there has been parodied over the years,
Yes.
has it not?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the Oh Captain, My Captain scene. Listen, if you haven't seen the movie, just YouTube that. Just YouTube Oh Captain, My Captain and watch that scene from Dead Poets Society. And if you don't want to watch the movie from that, I cannot help you. Right? I mean, it's oh, yeah, you're right. Super powerful. Oh, I love that. Great call on our number 4 movie, Holly. Coming in at number 3, Braveheart.
Oh, see, I haven't seen many of these.
I knew you probably wouldn't have. It's okay. I'm giving you movies to watch.
Yay.
Braveheart is an epic tale of William Wallace, also, again, based on a true story. William Wallace, so this is in the era when England was really trying to take over a lot more space, and, Ireland and Scotland, right? So Scotland is where this really takes place, and William Wallace is from there, and he really tries to defend it, and a lot of tragic stuff happens. It's brutal. It's a brutal movie. It's a war movie, so just expect that there's going to be some violence and
bloodshed.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but also when you get more into it and you see what an inspiration he was, and he says a line, and I am going to ruin the line for everybody but it's so like. It's so good that everybody should hear the line anyway. So when faced with possible death, William Wallace says back, he says, because they say it'll be awful, you'll die. And his response is, every man dies, not every man truly lives. And
that's deep. Very, very deep.
Oh, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and just really shook my world, and it was really good because it got me to thinking, like, well, what am I living for? What am I doing? Like, am I, is this moment even, am I living it well? So Braveheart easily comes in the top 3. Easily. It's not even close. So I know you haven't seen it. I'm going to recommend it. I'm also going to recommend it's not like a popcorn movie where you just sit there and eat food and joyous. And,
it might be a little more gruesome, I see.
Definitely, for sure. So,
I'll be prepared.
Oh, yes. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, we need a cue for the number 2 and number 1 movies, yes?
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. Well, how about instead of a drum roll, we get this. That's right, everybody. And that's about all we can play legally. So
we're gonna cut that really quick.
if you haven't picked up on that, Holly, what is that from?
Rocky Balboa.
Oh.
Love the Rocky movies, and I do love number 4 with the Russian.
Yes,
I know that's a top favorite with many people. I absolutely love those movies. I watched them with my dad a lot, so that was like our thing, and it made us like want to, like, I don't know, go and impact the world somehow, or like, and also go work out, because obviously he's like getting fit, and we're like, yeah, come on, Rocky, you got this.
Yeah.
And you sort of like put yourself into that situation. You're like, okay, I got to go work out too. But a quote that I think embodies the whole series that I'm going to read really quick it's super good. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just that resiliency that Rocky has, and his perseverance that is very admirable. And it has a very symbolism almost with Jesus. Like, he gets hit and hit and hit and hit, but he wins in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with Rocky. He wins in the end, right?
Yeah.
Because he can take the hits of life. And I think that is a really big metaphor.
I love that. And of course, Rocky IV is on my honorable mention of movies.
Nice.
Because it's one of those that if it's on TV, I don't care what you're doing, you stop. You just watch the rest of it, no matter where it's at. It's such a great series, and even it's bled into the Creed series as well.
Yes, and I've watched those as well.
Yeah, I think those are they're all right.
They're okay.
They're okay. I like that it extends the Rocky verse, we'll call it, but really it's those first initial ones that stick with me anyway.
Yeah, I feel like you can't. It's hard to have that same quality and like rawness of that compared to what's like the newer. It's just too new almost for me personally with the Creeds, because I've watched both, and I was like, they were good. They were good.
Certainly.
But I think like Rocky's like the best.
Yeah.
Only because just like of the storyline with his, his character development too.
Oscar nominated, I believe, the first Rocky, right? Did it win an Oscar?
I'm not sure, actually.
It's up there.
I would not be surprised.
I need to look at that. Comment on this if you've looked at that. I think it won an Oscar, pretty sure, but maybe not. I don't know. I know it was up for it for sure. All right, before we get to our number one movie, let's do some honorable mentions. Movies that are so good, and we hate to leave them out of a top 10, but you have to make a top 10.
Right.
So I've got a couple that I'll share with you, and then if you have any, you can share those too. So here are some that I wrote down. The Passion of the Christ.
The Passion.
Right, yeah. I mean,
I thought of that while writing. I was like,
I know you almost feel obligated on a religious podcast to say that it's one of the, but it really is one of my top movies. Brutal. Oh, so difficult to watch, but also huge impact on my life. The Last Samurai. It's a Tom Cruise movie.
I've never watched that, actually.
It's another one. Again, it's an epic tale. Takes a little bit of time. So good, though. I mean, really good. Also, Gladiator with Russell Crowe.
Never watched that one either.
Oh my goodness. I'm just going to give you my list.
Suggestions.
I'm a sucker for like the Matrix movies. So it's always up there, but Good Will Hunting.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
The Godfather movies, of course. And then there's another one that I put on my honorable mention. I guarantee you haven't even heard of it, but it's called Railwaymen.
Nope.
Okay, that's an absolute must. Colin Firth, who I love, think he's tremendous, and Nicole Kidman. And this only came out maybe 5-6 years ago, but Railwaymen is, oh my gosh, it is true story. All these top ones are true stories, it seems.
The inspirational
story. Although our number one is not a true story. I'll put that out there. But Railwaymen, if you want to be inspired about how forgiveness actually can happen even in the worst of circumstances, that's one to watch. Do you have any honorable mentions, Holly?
I can think of two. So The Blind Side.
Oh yeah, love The Blind Side.
So it's
of course,
another inspirational movie.
Yes.
And also Freedom Writers.
Oh,
which is like another teacher related sort of movie, and she comes into like an inner city school.
Yeah.
And it goes like on home visits and helps the kids like all achieve a great education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that Sandra Bullock? No. I forget who stars in that. But yes, it's been forever since I've seen it. So. But yeah, Freedom Writers, very good movie as well. All right, well, it's all brought us to this. It's all brought us to the number one movie on the top 10 countdown. Right. Now, nothing will ever shake it. Nothing will ever move it from its top spot. I don't believe. Ever.
Wow.
And for your entertainment, I actually have a clip that we can listen to real quick. Here we go. Let's hear this. See if you can pick up what movie this is just by hearing it. Ooh. So clearly, we're at some kind of sporting something.
Yes. There's applause.
Intro dramatic music. Ooh. Sounds painful. One of my favorite lines here. Coming up. Of any movie of all time.
That's Rick's favorite line of all time.
That is a classic line. Here we go. This is the moment that still gets butterflies in my stomach. I'm even twitching now just watching it. Oh, that is just tremendous. I don't know how much more I can play. Yeah, I don't know. We might get censored for that one. I'm not sure. But that, of course, is the original 1984 Karate Kid movie.
I love Karate Kid so much.
Oh, there's so much nostalgia there. One of my favorite TV shows to watch is The Goldbergs, and it deals with like the 80s culture and a lot of references to the Karate Kid. Mm-hmm. On my wall here, I have a very good friend, very, very good friend. Shout out to Paul and Courtney Martin, who actually got me signed pictures from Ralph Macchio and William Zabka in that moment of the Karate Kid where they're facing off, that big epic moment. And they're autographed to me from both actors. And also Martin Kove, who plays John Kreese, the bad sensei. He also signed his picture to me, telling me to stay spiritual.
Yeah, I see spiritual.
Isn't that great?
3 exclamations.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
And that movie to me has just such great character arc, and to see where one starts to one ends, and the support system and the love of a father figure. And it spoke so much to my life and growing up too. So obviously for me, it's very personal, but it has also spawned this whole other Cobra Kai culture.
Oh yeah,
that is so popular, right?
Honestly, those are pretty good too.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised with those. I was like, how are you going to measure up to Karate Kid? I was like, oh, this can't be like that good. But I definitely binge watch those.
yeah. And the new season actually comes, season 4 already coming out on December 31st. Ooh, okay. I know. Now, if I were to direct, I would definitely have knocked out some of the stuff in it. I don't agree with some things in some movies as well. Sure. But what I will say is it was so powerful, so impactful that it lives on today. That was 1984 when that came out. Right. And because of that, it spawned a few other movies. Karate Kid 2 was it's a great movie, in my opinion. It's a great movie. Karate Kid 3, not a great movie. And Karate Kid 4, also known as the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank instead of Ralph Macchio. Not a great movie either. There was a cartoon series of the Karate Kid.
Oh, I've never watched those.
Yeah.
I've watched the movies, but I've never watched the cartoon series.
1980s. Okay. So it's 80s cartoon. But then all of a sudden, all these years later, we come back to Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid, and there's a reason. It resonated with so many people. If you have not seen, and you'll notice I've left out one in that series because I do not believe it is part of the series. It is not canon. They call it the Karate Kid, but it's got Jackie Chan and...
Oh, yeah, that one is not the same.
And Will Smith's kid.
I watched that one as well.
I refuse. I will not watch that movie.
I will go with tradition.
That's right. That you cannot redo that movie. Having said that, the clear impact that movie has had on our culture and our North American culture is huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch the original, the 1984 version of The Karate Kid, and just enjoy it. Yeah, it's an older movie. Of course. Yeah, but some of the styles are coming back. You'll know, hey, that looks like clothes they'd wear today. Because for some reason we can't be inventive anymore.
No, we just reuse.
We just reuse. I guess that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe. But for me, number one movie of all time, The Karate Kid. I hope everybody's kind of like taking something away from our top 10.
Hopefully there's some messages and some morals. I don't know.
There was clearly no
good movie suggestion.
Yeah, that's all this really was a podcast about movies today. And maybe you agree with some of those, maybe you don't. It's okay. We all have our top 10s. Heck, if you want to put some comments in about some of your top movies, I'd love to see them. Maybe there's a movie I haven't seen that I still need to see. Mm-hmm. I would love that. But don't put any Marvel movies. I've seen them all. Okay, so you're not going to surprise me.
Work out, really.
Yeah, no, come on now. But we are so grateful that you would still listen to a podcast like this. We thought we'd do something a little bit different. Now, next week, we're going to do a big one.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, do you want to tell everybody what we're going to talk about next week, Holly?
Spooky. Ooh. We are going to be doing a Halloween special.
Oh, yes.
All about Halloween. Are we allowed to watch horror movies? Is The Conjuring okay?
Yeah.
Can we go trick-or-treating?
Oh.
Can we dress up in costumes?
Ooh.
We'll be addressing these questions next week, so stay tuned.
I'm super excited for that. I hope you are too. We appreciate you listening, and we will see you next time on Happy Hour.